Okay, I should be streaming and recording. Um, I'm not gonna wait for people to get here because there's nobody to fucking come. I have my ceremonial cacao to keep me lit. Uh, what is this? To keep me lit. Let me just focus on today. I had this JD reflection. It's not GDPR compliant. Okay, right now I'm doing Anki. So my hair is messed up. That's why I'm wearing this cap. Is what it is, man. It is what it is. It's hot. I don't wanna wear a hat and get hot and then. So anyway, uh, delata. It's called every time you delete an attribute doing like del object.x or something. And what happens here? Um, yeah. So let's say I delete an attribute. Default behavior is check for descriptors. The descriptor has a delete special method defined on it, then it will use that. It will call that. If it doesn't, then it will just do it the normal way, which is just go to the instance dictionary and then remove the attribute. Done. That should be correct. I keep pressing space, and I hope space means good. Um, what I just said is correct. Cool. When is raising it's preferable when you're in a situation. Well, if the code that's calling your function that throws an exception is built around like if there's a try and catch, you know, it's built for handling those things. Oof, bro. Are there calories in ceremonial cacao? That's what I need to work out. Ceremonial cacao calories. Only 30 calories. No, 140 calories. That sounds 22 grams. I had 40 grams. Fuck off. Bro, I had 40 grams, so double this. 280 calories! Fuck me, man. Coffee black. Only 2 calories. Oh my god, this is too much. This is too many calories. And it's mostly fat. Fuck me, man. 14 minutes of running, for fuck's sake. Gonna have to go on another jog. See, this is what happens. I get distracted so quickly. Cow. Alright, what's the benefits, bro? Antioxidants. That's good, but it's an absurd amount of calories. Anyway, back to business. Uh, you, if your code is built around handling exceptions, then obviously it's preferable. If you, um, preferable to raise an exception. So if you like, so none is useful when you're expecting like an input to be like malformed, like if you're processing something. But if you're expecting everything to run smoothly, you should actually raise an exception instead, just so that the caller is like aware that something has gone wrong, something that you didn't expect to go wrong went wrong. That's when it's preferable. And a benefit is that you can actually communicate information. None doesn't really communicate any information, but an exception allows you to then communicate information and be like, oh, this is the wrong type or something, blah, blah, blah. So that's okay. If input is unexpected, a malformed input is unexpected. If you want to provide more context, calling code, that to me is correct. Let me press space and see what happens. Pardon me. Describe two central features of higher order functions. They take functions as inputs and they return functions as outputs. Nice, easy. What does it mean to that dictionary holds members of a class? It means that classes have dictionaries uh, behind the scenes, and it means that that dictionary holds the members, such as like the methods, the I think it's mainly the methods, maybe something else. Yeah. Okay. Cool. It's also good. What is a closure? Closure is that's a tricky one. I learned this yesterday. Okay, so a closure. A closure is an interesting concept because it's like you have to sort of explain other things to get to a closure. So you have a function. Let's say you have a function, and then within that function you have another function. Um, and essentially it is a function object that the holds values um, so that the function, when called, can run correctly. So, for example, let's say you have a function. I think that's a good enough example, a good definition. But let's walk through a real one. Actually, I can write it here. Actually, let's give it a shot, shall we? So we're gonna have def playlist and then a year, and then we're gonna have another function called song, and then it's gonna go name. Now here's where closure starts kicking. Song name, yeah. Okay. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay. So what you're gonna see here is that actually that's before I get carried away. Return song. Okay. I think that will give us a closure. So something interesting you can see here. So I defined a function, then I defined another function. This is the nested function. And you can see in the local scope of this function, there's only of this function song, there's name. There is no year. But in the non-local scope, so year exists in the scope of playlist. So what's gonna happen here is that so let's make a playlist for the year 2023. Actually, it's 2024 now. And that's gonna give me a function that's called song. Cool. Now, you want to see something cool? Is that there is an object called closure. Now, what's happening here is that basically this feature of Python essentially allows us to get this function to keep the variables like for example 2024, because Python knows that this function that gets returned in order to work needs year. So it keeps, so when we do playlist 2024, what happens, you can think of, it wraps up this function that it returns and includes the year that we passed in, which is 2024, into the scope. So then when you check the closure object, essentially, or this, if we go to, done the closure, we're able to see what variables were held by the closure that sort of gets passed into this song function. I hope that makes sense. I know what I'm talking about. So obviously there could be more, and then I think it's cell contents, and we get 2024. So, and if we just do song name, what is the song? Akbad by B. What's the name again? Not Be Young. Be Love. Love that song. That was a good song. Now this, so now I've just got this song. This is now a song function. I don't know why I call it P, but this is the song function. And if I call that Akbad year 2024. So notice I didn't have to pass in a year. It just magically somehow had the year stored from before. That's pretty cool. Closures. I gave an example, bro. Bro. I wrote the code for it, mate, bro. I literally did this example word for word. That's a nice definition. A function object that remembers values and enclosing scopes. That was a lot less words than I used. A function value that remembers values and enclosing scopes. I can't believe there's so many calories in ceremonial cacao. As we know, it is a It's a interesting. So here we have this P, which is what is this? A function, but there's also this extra thing that says playlist.locals, and that's the values from the enclosing scope, and the enclosing scope was called playlist in this case. That's interesting. Yeah, it's awesome. Function object that remembers values and enclosing scopes. Okay, let me just keep that. Python interpreter. So object protocols. So when you see all these dunder this, dunder that, that's a protocol. Are baked into the interpreter at a very low level. So if you have like dunder add, that is mapped in the interpreter to a very like I don't know. Yes, it's in bytecode. It's like mapped to like the add instruction. Fucking hell, where's that? Cool. So here you can just, that's basically what I said. The word interpreter, I should have used the close. Let me do this now. Okay, never mind. I don't want to do any of this. Okay, I take it back. I'm not going to do that right now. So, basically, this is showing you. I forgot what this does, but I think it like disassembles or shows you like what actually happens. It's going to show you that this part, the add part, or it loads the variables, then does this binary add, and these two, like this add. So when you do x plus y, what actually happens is this special method done the add gets called, Um, and they're basically just saying this is hardwired to this. There's nothing else I could say. Pardon me. That's not good. Do people burp on streams? I shouldn't do that. But you can't really mute like in real time, especially if you're doing something. What is local variable scope? Local scope is within the scope of like a function. Basically, that's the explanation I have. A variable created inside a function belongs to the local scope of a function. Fantastic. There are two ways to limit the set of allowed attributes. Okay. Um, there's dunder slots that you can define on a class to limit the set of allowed attributes. Or you could do something on dunder set atta, and you could do some kind of like check, or like you could use that special method to limit the amount of attributes basically that a object can have. Was the main motivation for descriptors? What is the main motivation for descriptors, eh? Oh, I remember the words for this one now. So they're going to say it's a hook that allows us to customize basically what happens at attribute lookup. So, when you do uh, object dot x, if you have a descriptor, you have full control of what happens. That's a get. So during that retrieval of that value, and how that lookup works, and how lookup works would be something like it checks the descriptor first, then the descriptor kicks in and returns the value, and you can do all sorts of validation, customization, and if not, just checks the instance dictionary. Hmm. I'm gonna give myself a pass for that. That was basically what I said. The main motivation for descriptors is to provide a hook around objects stored in class variables. Actually, that's quite important. You can't just define a descriptor in random places. It's got to be a class variable. You can sort of see the fat in a way shining in this cacao. Drawing class variables to control what happens during attribute lookup. What's the name of this stream? I keep forgetting I have to change the stream name. Okay, good. Twitch. Okay, that basically works. Code in Python. Why is it a rerun? I don't know why I put a rerun. Someone should tell me what that means. You're live. Let's get live. What up? You can watch a Twitch, bro. This guy people just do nonsense on here, bro. Imagine these people. Their job is to play video games. Do you know how nuts that is? And then people are just talking. They're not talking. This is fucking. This is porn, bro. Ah, ah. You're joking. Oh, this guy is a normal guy. Be productive with me. All right, the porn ones are right at the top, as expected. This is not a description, Rise. Leave me alone. 8.9K viewers. What is going on? How? I don't get it. I don't get it. Anyway, global variable scope. If you're defined at the top of the module, anybody can use you. That's basically it. You're the TikTok dots of not TikTok, Twitch dots. It's the main body of the Python code. The global variable connected with any function in the special spell here. And that ruins the question, but I didn't look at the answer, but it reminded me of a trick. There's setAtta, delAtta, there's getAttribute, and there's getAtta. And I should have a question about what's the difference between getAttribute and getAtta. Well, it's all displayed here. Object.x calls object.getAttribute x. And then if that's not found, for whatever reason, we called object.getAtta. And typically, this is essentially defined to throw a attribute error. How can you create a property? All right. Define a function that basically takes in this value, some value, and sets it, put at property on the top of it. And then if you want to make the setter for it, you can, and the deleter, I think, you can do at name of the function that you just put at property over, then do dot setter, and then you can do all the code in there. So when that gets called, you can do like, object.x equals 11, and that can get handled in there. It's cool because you can control how things are like getting set and stuff. Is there another step after that? I think that's the same for the deleter. Yeah. Whoa, bro! I think this shit's kicking my ass. Closure variables are okay. So the non-local declaration is giving it away. So they can be mutable if you use non-local. If you don't use non-local and you try to mutate, so for example, in the case of this, if I try to change the year in the song function to 3000, it would, so if I tried year equals 3000, it would sort of, one, when I did call P act bad here, it would have said year 3000. However, it would have actually created another variable. It wouldn't be the same variable. That's my understanding. So you use non-local so that it's actually mutable. Yeah. What is the benefit of that? That can be beneficial if you try and make a counter or something like that. How attributes read. Okay. So this is just sort of the same logic as before. If you call object.x, what happens? All right. So we already know that if you call object.x, every time that happens, you're gonna hit that's gonna call the special method dunder get attribute, which is then going to check if there's any descriptors. If there are descriptors, then it's going to use the get special method of the descriptor to get what it needs. If there's not descriptors, then what it's going to do is just go to the instant dictionary and get the attribute you were looking for. If there's something else. If it's not in the instance dictionary, then what it'll do is it'll check your basis. So if you've done the basis, we'll get the parents in the case of inheritance. Um, Obviously in Python, everything inherits from objects. Um, if it can't find the attribute there, then what it does is it calls getAtta, and getAtta is probably gonna throw a, unless you've overridden it. Well, actually, the default behavior of getAtta is to um, throw an attribute error. I like the pause for dramatic effect. Apparently, um, even this picture is a simplified case. But what I described is exactly what the text says, which is bow, look for descriptors. Bow, check the local dunder dict. So that's the instant dictionary. If it's not found, then you need to go to dunder class, and that takes you to the class. Then check the class dictionary. If it's not in the class dictionary, then you go to basis, which is dunder basis on the class, which gets you the parents. And if it's not there, then it invokes get attribute. That's a lie. No, sorry, no, that's correct. Get atta, because we already called get attribute. All right, everything's good. Everything's good. Nee, 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 nee. Ah, 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 ah. A closure is a function object that I don't know, provides the variables from the enclosed scope. I don't know how they did it in one line, but we discussed and wrote what it was here. Uh, yeah. So I'm not gonna bother with that one. That is pretty much what I said. A function object that remembers values and enclosing scopes. I wonder if you had like double nesting or like triple nesting, what would happen? That is an experiment I can try. But right now I'm trying to finish this. What are the two typical uses for del, the del method? Uh, Something to do with closing system resources and network stuff. And what else is there? I'm gonna clean up an instance or something. Or no, instance management is probably the word it's gonna say. Shit. That was not good. Shut down system resources. So we've got releasing locks. I did not say that. Why are closures useful? Encapsulation. That's all I can think of. Encapsulation. It's a nice way to like keep state like in one place. What are the reasons? I can't really think of any. Oh, true, 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 true. It is a nice way to maintain state. I agree. You can create function factories. That's cool. And you can create decorators. Yes. Oh, property and an attribute. A property is technically an attribute, but it's specialized. specialized in the sense that it has like getters and deleters and setters, which allows you to control how these specific attributes are set and removed. So there's encapsulation, there's this idea of functionality, and consistency to some respect. Yeah, control. All right, I'm gonna call that consistency. Control, encapsulation, functionality. I'm gonna give that a good. That was close enough. Uh, a variable that every function can access because it's just in the main code, like main file. Closures are useful because it's an elegant way of maintaining state and what else? You can create function factories and you can create decorators. Done. All right, let's go to my decks. No, not custom study. Let's go back to Anki. Has it only been 33 minutes? This is cap. Now we've got system design. My brain is tired, man. There's no way it's only been 33 minutes. That is bullshit. Uh, Nobody's in the chat. No, I've been streaming for 30 minutes. What the hell's happened here? It feels like a long time. Maybe I need to share this on Twitter so that people can see I'm streaming. I've got one follower. Oh my god. GeoHots. Let's see. Recent broadcast. Oh, that is dumb. 76.1k followers. Fuck me, man. Science and technology. Wow. What's this guy doing? This is my little break for myself. Ham radio lurker. Fuck, you know. In real life, science. How do I put myself in science and technology? How do I know what section I'm in? Um, can't believe all of that. It's only 6 cards. Come on now. Multi-data setup, data synchronization, and traffic redirection. Should I go into those? Well, if you have multiple data centers, usually they're in different regions. If you ever use GCP, you're familiar with this. You'll have like um, Europe West 2, which is London, and you have like Europe West 1, I don't know, which may be like Belgium or France. Cool. So if you use a multi data center setup, then now you got a few problems. Uh, let's say I'm Netflix and Omar has an account in England. You know, I have a UK Netflix account and I have a Japanese account, but obviously I'm in the UK. Actually, no, I only have one account. I have my UK account. Let's say fucking hell. Let's say I can use my account everywhere. That's the first problem. Um, so all my data is probably going to be in this one UK data center. Why? Because it makes sense for it to be in the UK data center to reduce latency. No point in my data being in the Japanese data center until this happens. I go to Tokyo to go visit my friends. and I log into Netflix. And because it's gonna do uh, geo routing, it's gonna hook me to the closest data center, which is probably gonna be some Japanese data center. Let's say Netflix's data center in Japan. What's the problem? That database over there doesn't know about Omar. It doesn't know nothing. So it needs so we need to find a way to synchronize the data between these two things so I can have a seamless experience. Um, I think technically you'd have to have a new account, but whatever it is. A way you could get around this is to, so in the first step, there's traffic redirection. You gotta redirect my traffic from the Japan all the way to the UK because that's where my data is. Or you could do something fancier with data synchronization, and you can make sure that my data is in the UK and it's in Japan, so that way I can have a seamless experience. So those are some. Now imagine how much of a challenge that is to do. Sending between different regions is going to be slow, etc., etc. So yeah, um, that was the exact thing I wrote here. Fantastic. Uh, uh, um, mm, 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 mm. Cool. Celebrity hotspot. Celebrity, aka hotspot key problem in databases. So imagine you have a database, you horizontally scale it, so you shard it up, and you shard it so that it's more manageable, blah 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 blah. And obviously you can scale it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Then you have anyway. Um. Okay. Now let's say you have a celebrity on a specific shard. Let's say like Twitter when they had their first celebrity, Snoop Dogg. What is going to happen is that there's going to be a bunch of users who are going to be like, "Oh, I need to follow." Not just a bunch, hundreds of thousands of users, all going to one specific shard where there's going to be a lot of GET requests. Actually, yeah, the issue is you're going to Snoop's page, and they're going to have constant GET requests. Um, and and if you follow, then we need to write also to the database as well. So that shard could become exhausted because it has to process, this database server has to process a bunch way more um requests than we thought, simply because there's a celebrity on it. So that's the hotspot issue. um so there's a couple ways around it. Some people make sure there's only like one celebrity per shard, because usually that's okay. There's also a method that I'm not sure what it's called. I think it's in the card, but it's called like consistent hashing. I don't remember what it was. I have to look into that. But basically, that's the problem in databases. Um, so yeah, you got to keep your eye out for that. Um, okay, no consistent thing here. Okay, I basically got the main parts right. What are benefits and drawbacks of long polling? Long polling, I'm not going to go into long polling, but benefits. The second you have the information, the server has information it needs, the client gets it. That's the benefit. There's also fewer requests, as in like, because there's one in a simple case. Um, the drawbacks. The drawbacks are with long polling. Uh, oh, it's a headache because you can only keep a connection open for so long, so it times out. Then you gotta reopen it again, and also you have to manage a bunch of different connections. That's all long. So I think that's the benefits and drawbacks of long polling. Yep, yep, yep. When should you reshard data? I don't know, when it's too much data going on in one of the shards. Um, yeah, that's my guess. Okay, I got question part number one right. A single shard. Well, a single shard can no longer hold more data due to rapid growth. Cool. And certain shards might experience shard exhaustion faster than others due to uneven data. Bro, isn't that the same thing? Oh no, it's different. So there's the idea of rapid growth. So you just have, I don't know, 10x more users tomorrow. Congratulations. Or this idea that the data distribution is uneven. So more data ends up going. So you have the same amount of users, but data ends up going to a particular shard or particular number of shards. Um, and that's why they talk about updating the sharding function, because I think the sharding function is what determines where. Actually, I don't know what the sharding function is. Let's quickly look it up. It's better for distributing a single data because it across multiple databases. It's probably going to be similar to how a dictionary works or a hash table for people that like use Java. Um, and all I need to do is see a modulo. That's it. Range sharding. Okay, that's not bad. Hash sharding. There we go. There we go. And that's how you decide where you go. Entity relationship based. Oh, there's a lot of different ways of sharding. That's pretty cool. Okay. Uh, yeah. So your shard function, you may need to just change it for whatever reason. Consistent hashing. What is consistent hashing? There's the sounding the objects in the position. Interesting. Uh, Geeks for Geeks. Thank you very much. Geeks for Geeks is great. Actually, do you know what's better than Geeks for Geeks? Bro. Okay. To distribute keys uniformly across a cluster of nodes, the goal is to minimize the number of keys that need to be moved when nodes are added or removed to the cluster. That's really the impact of changing the overall system. A hash ring! Fucking hell. Has anyone heard of a hash ring before? I don't know how many people are watching this, but there's probably nobody watching this, but I've never heard of a hash ring before in my life. Number of keys that need to be moved when blah blah blah. The request by the system client. Interesting. Why do they place? Okay, this is long, and I personally don't want to read it. But if I ask my good friend Universal Primer, what is consistent hashing in system design? It should know. It should actually do it step by step. Bro, I just want to finish my cards, bro. No, not Japanese. Thank you. Alright, good. Database sharding. You take a large database, you split it up into smaller, more manageable chunks called shards. That is sharding. Yeah, that's sharding. You see this actually a lot. TensorFlow used to have TensorFlow. This is in TensorFlow shard. This is the first time I heard about it, and it allowed me to shard my data set up, uh, split it up, and then do stuff on it in parallel. I think. Yeah, shards computation for parallel execution, and that just sped my shit up so much more. So if it's sharded, you can parallelize it. I think there's a consistent thread in this stuff. It's the same stuff of like break it into bits. Cool, that helps. And you can parallelize stuff because it's broken up into bits. Uh, yeah, yeah. How does the message queue work? Okay, a queue is just a queue. Um, this is a weird question when I think about it, but the simple way to think about it is like one example, one instance of this is what people will be familiar with a pub sub uh, model or pattern, and you have a publisher, um, which is like basically a client or a computer somewhere that it could be a server that publishes onto an actual queue, a message into the queue. Um, and there could be many of these things. Let's even do an example. I think this is an example of the book. Your phone. No, sorry. Imagine if Instagram filters took like 10 years to apply. What you'd have to do is so every single one of you guys who submits for a filter to be done on a picture, uh, you guys are publishing your photo and the details of the filter onto a queue. And what happens is the queue basically stores all of these requests. And then on the other side, you can have a bunch of other servers that do the filter stuff. And then I don't know, they'll email you when it's done. So it's not even Instagram. It's like those shit apps, not shit apps. Those apps that like AI your pictures. And what happens then is, bro, what happens then? Oh yeah, then the servers just take the work off the queue, um, and it does the like 1,000 year long process of making your pictures look pretty, and then returns the result to you, the user, when it's done. Yeah, so that's publish, subscribe. Um, I think who uses that? I'm trying to think of like maybe WhatsApp. I think it says WhatsApp and Dropbox here. So actually, if you ever use WhatsApp Web, you'll know that like this interesting thing happens when you go on WhatsApp Web. You go on web.whatsapp.com and you see like an old state of your messages, and then you can see it's like downloading things, and you're seeing all your messages come through, and you're seeing it shift up so the chats are in the right order. That's this idea of now the client has sort of connected to a queue, so like these messages are in order, and is now taking these messages off in order to see uh, yeah, taking these messages off in order to get to the latest state, which is, your messages in the correct order with all the messages you sent and got received in a time since you were on web.whatsapp.com. So that's a fun way where you can like see it actually play out. You can see it like it's now collected to the queue that it's or maybe it's even a topic. Um, there's a desktop topic. There's probably even a web topic. Sorry, no, mobile topic. Anyway, so it connects to its supposed like the correct topic, and it's just receiving bow bow bow. Here's all the messages you missed. Go into order, and then now you're ready to start sending messages. Um, all right, we've done our studies for the day on bro, hash ring. Never heard of a hash ring before. I don't think I need to know this consistent hashing algorithm. So, and I'm also not that curious about it because I don't think I need to use it right now ever. But it seems cool. If I do need to know about it, I know about it. So the next thing I'm gonna do is switch to Python mastery, but I need a fucking break, mate. Bro, this. So I had a cup of tea, and I've had what is this? Ceremonial cacao. So so it's just like, oh my god, I don't feel comfortable, bro. Why is nobody watching this? How do I get people to watch this? You have to go on Twitter. You got to tweet your life away. Uh Men fashion weeks. That is ridiculous. Stop focus mode. 29, yeah, World War III. Bro, I thought I said autistic and intricate wood art. What? Nah, that was mad. I didn't expect that, bro. Does that move? That's pretty cool. Bro, he's selling the fuck. I can't even hear nothing, but I know he's selling the fuck out of that fucking wood art, bro. He has to be Chinese. Yep, Chinese, bro. Bro, I'm hearing weird noises. It's not in my house, so we're safe. Ugh. Who's Billy, bro? Bloody heck, man. What the fuck? But you can only. Oh, okay. You're fucking joking. That's fire. Yeah. white people, able-bodied, heterosexual, cisgender people, males, Christians, middle or owning class people. Huh? What about people above them? Oh, owning class. Middle-aged people, English-speaking people. Bro, I get it. I read this and I get it. Me, I'm an able-bodied person. Obviously, I have a privilege. But why people see this and they lose their mind? I don't have an issue with this. But it's like, what do you do based on this list is really what matters. So let's see. Of course. So he's saying this like black female chief diversity officers are more privileged than nearly everyone. Okay, let's break this one down. So here we have black female. All right. So she's not male, but she is black. Black people are on there. I can see that. But chief diversity officer changes the game. Black female is the minority, but to be fair, the intersection of black female and chief diversity, oh my god, it's even more of a minority. You There are a lot of privileges that you do not have. However, she does have the privilege of being a chief diversity officer, which I assume includes, and she's also clearly cisgendered. Uh, and obviously, if you're chief diversity officer of a like actual big institution, then you're definitely going to be middle or owning class. And she's also middle age, and she also speaks English. She's probably Christian too, given America. So like she I hope that she's also accepts the idea that she has privilege because she does. No one's denying that. So I think like this guy saying this is doesn't mean anything. It's true. And they have privilege of being hired and treated above criticism because of their race and sex. Okay. Now that's where we get disagreement. Being hired and treated above criticism because of their race and sex. Okay. I don't know how hiring works. But I know if I hire someone, I'm hiring them because they are gonna do the job well. Um, Now the thing is, the reason why she's being hired is to a certain extent the fact that this lady has a worldview that's gonna be one that has like less privileged blinders on. Um, Therefore, it's easier to for her to know like here's the ways we can help an institution become more diverse. So I don't think it's because of their race and sex. I think it's because of the fact that because of their race and sex, they're more likely, doesn't mean they are, but they are more likely to be able to be aware of the lack of privileges that they've had, the privileges of other people had, and how to close that gap. How to get people um, who are from, I don't know, more minority backgrounds, um, more equal footing. For example, if you are a non-Muslim, so if you're a Christian, for example, obviously most workplaces, America's a very Christian country, so is the UK. Um, so a lot of the things we have are built around this fact. So in the case of Christians, people don't pray at work; they pray at church. So you have the space to do the thing that you want to do. However, if you're Muslim, you're able to see and realize that, oh, in my office we don't have a prayer room. because Muslims pray 5 times a day, and that would include during their workday. They can't all go to the mosque. The mosque isn't around the corner. So the lack of that privilege, in the sense, like you're more aware of the fact that you don't have the privilege of being able to pray um, according to your religion at any time of the day. Well, you can go in an empty room, but like there isn't a designated room for that oftentimes. So a white cis male Christian is gonna have no clue that that's even a problem, and that's why people who aren't from this set, or at least not that you aren't from this set, because everyone's gonna be basically have some intersection here. That's why those people uh, are more likely to do a better job. So it's not because of their race and sex; it's because the way the world has treated them meant that they are more likely to see ways that things can be improved for other people. That's it. Um, yeah, man said Hitler's. Why people are scared, man? Why people get so scared? How is this promoting racism? I don't get it. How is this promoting racism? I don't get it. Please tell me. Let's look at the definition of racism. This is a nice little break. All right, all right, all right. We're gonna settle it right here. Prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism by an individual, community, or institution against a person or people on the basis of their membership of a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is minority or marginalized. Bro, I don't think that's a real definition, bro. That is a definition. No, that's not a real definition. It's a definition. I think it's missing an important part, which is systems. I think it's very, very important to factor in systems. Um, Against, and also, what is the definition of racism? Okay, so where was I? This is not racism. Simply because there is no prejudice against. She's merely stating the John Hopkins is merely stating the fact that you have privilege. That's it. She's not saying you can't do a job. She's not saying anything else. They're just saying, nigga, you got a privilege and that's it. And ain't nothing wrong with that. The same way I can say and be like, yo, I'm a male. Oh, I'm not middle aged either. But I'm able bodied. Oh, I am also middle and owning class, and I speak English. Bro, I'm not butthurt, and I also don't think that's being racist at all. Um, because nothing comes from that. That's just a fact. Those people have privilege. Everybody has privilege. Um, and I don't understand why he's jumped to automatically guilty of privilege. Why is privilege seen as a bad thing? Like, there's nothing wrong with having privilege. Everybody has, like, you will have privilege. Like, even if you're blind. So it's not racism. This is stupid. White people, they're scared. They're shaking. Oh man, look at them. Unfair and oppressive. Oh, look at them. Oh, they're shaking, man. This is why I never agree with people who want to silence, deplatform those that deem you engage in hate speech, racism, blah, 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 blah. Let people talk. They should not get a dime of taxpayer money unless they fire these racists. DEI Bureau. What part of this is racism? I don't get it. I don't get it. Let's check these quotes. The racist. Fucking hell. Am I missing something here? Please, is there anybody in the chat that can help me figure out what I'm missing? Racism is a belief system or practice that asserts the superiority of one race over another. It involves prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against an individual group on their perceived racial identity. Racism can manifest very well in the actions, institutional policies, practices, cultural norms that perpetuate racial inequality and injustice. Bro, that was also a shit definition, to be fair. I think you can't really come up with a useful definition because this is not racist. What the fuck? Look, these people, everything is nuanced. Everything is nuanced. These guys are, I hate to break it to you, but they look like losers, a lot of them. Fucking hell, mate. Jesus Christ. Everything's a up. Everything's a up to these people. I check all but one boxes. What must end? I don't get it, Mr. Musk. You're a smart man. What exactly is it that has to end? I want to watch this video. So this is an interesting video because these guys, so they're making liberals seem like they are people who complain about things a lot. Like, for example, here she said, "Oh, I don't want you to say the word cheese because I'm a vegan." So, the guy's just doing something normal, taking a picture, say cheese, and she's like, "No." So it's funny because she's like, "Actually, I'm a vegan." It's a nice reverse joke there. Pretty good. And then the guy that does CrossFit, he goes, and he tried to say, "Okay, everyone say tofu." That doesn't work because the CrossFit guy's like, "Actually, tofu must not pure your estrogen, da da da." Someone is simply stating, trying to even do something for you, or just trying to uh, state a fact. I don't even know what it is. They're making a statement. All you have to do, like, all it is these people got privilege. That's it. Why are people scared to say they have privilege? You complaining, saying this is wokeness, you're doing the same thing as what is in this picture. This lady is simply saying males got privilege. Nigga, of course they do. And women got privilege too, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna lie to you. They got everyone got privilege. Everyone has privilege. That's the only problem I have with this lady's list. I think if you were gonna uh like if you were going to argue with it, I think the simple idea is just to say everybody has privilege. However, some privilege is more privilegey than other people's privilege because proximity to power. That's it. Facts, hands down, done. Um, so yeah, but underprivileged people are not fucking up in arms when they see shit like this because we're like, yeah, I get it. You know, I may be male, I may be owning class, but also at the same time, I don't remember what my sentence was gonna be, so I'm just gonna bail out of it by just keep scrolling and pick up my coffee. Not my coffee, my ah Bill Belichick. That's crazy. What else is there? I'm finished. Bulking starts off hard. Force being is always a burn, but then for me, when my body gets into the swing of it, I want to eat like a pig all day, every day. LOL. Anyway, Twitter is a very odd place. I shouldn't be spending so long in it. What am I doing now? It's been an hour and 13 minutes. I need to get back to it, dog. Of course, Ubuntu Radio. What are these guys up to? Lelapa. I have a small gripe with this. I think what they're doing is amazing. Raise money, do all of that. But I want to know what they're building. Okay, they're building language models. Awesome. Vula Vula. Africans will instantly transcribe and analyze using a seamlessly integrated. That's cool. Try Vula Vula. Africa's. Okay, so you can take the most popular languages in Africa and then there's a lot of words on this, but anyway, it's fine. All right, they're in beta. All right, this is a lot of time just to get me to the. All right, so you go here, you record something for 10 seconds. I need to get my friends to try this out. Sorry, that's a waste of time. Gotta practice the right habits. That's useful, and I wonder. That's interesting. Hmm. I thought, how valuable is this for people on the continent? So it's trained on call center industry data. Good for the call centers. Automate that. Yeah, my main curiosity is, are they solving? My personal opinion is that these startups in Africa need to solve problems in Africa first before they can get to like problems for the world. That's my personal opinion. But I'm impressed. Like, support the Brody. What is DEI hiring? What is that, bro? What is the DEI target? Stop all of this, okay? I'm starting to understand these people's fear. These white people are scared. Okay, in their shoes, I think there's multiple things going on here. First step, when they see things like DEI targets, they assume that's what happening is that people who aren't qualified are being put into the positions. And then this guy's making a crazy leap to say this is associated to crashes. I think that's absurd. Um, like so, I think it's this fear. Um, yeah, white people are scared. I think it's the first time niggas are scared. They're like they're on to us. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. So I think the issue is, so the question is, why do they have to incentivize DEI? Simply because it's going to be harder to find minority talent than it is going to be to find white men talent. That's it. It's literally as simple as that. Uh, 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 uh. Anyway, Anyway, that's crazy. Anyway, I just got carried away for a solid period of. There's no way that was an hour and 25 minutes. Okay, I need to take a break. Anyway, that was fun. Let's see if I have. Nobody's left a message in the chat. So what we're gonna do, stop sharing, stop